two main governing bodies of chess boxing, which has been like that almost since the beginning, which is the WCBA, which the UK is a member of, and the WCBO. The origin of it basically was there was a guy called Jeppe Rubin, who's a German guy, who's sort of generally credited with the creation of it. And there's a UK guy called Tim Woolgar, who now lives in Australia. And sort of they did a lot of stuff together on it, then disagreed with a lot of stuff on it. And hence Tim sort of took the WCBA and the Jeppe took the WCBO.
Yeah, I mean, Jeppe Rubin was obviously the original creator of chess boxing, and then Tim brought his brand of it to London. And I think him and Jeppe had a little bit of conflict with each other, as they had different approaches to how what they thought of the sport. I think from Jeppe, he was very much looking at it as like, well, first of all, it was a sort of performance art, and then he was looking at this sort of elite. He wanted to turn it into this elite sport. And Tim had very much an approach of it being a bit more lighthearted and a bit more cabaret and entertainment.
I met Jeppe, the founder of the sport in Berlin, who died unfortunately. But yeah, I know both of them. I even tried to make a diplomatic effort to reconcile between the two, so that they would make peace and live happily thereafter, but it failed, unfortunately. It could have been really good because they would have complemented each other's strengths. Tim is great in organizing events. He was more down to earth, in certain more realistic in certain ways. But then Jeppe, he was great in finding sponsors, selling the events to sponsors as a one-off performances, but in the end, I think Jeppe wanted to create art and business, not a sport.
Tim Woolgar, who founded London Chessboxing, emigrated to Australia a few years ago, and I was finance director at the time. And basically, the question was, well, who's going to run it? So I basically started running the events, which is obviously a large portion of what we do. And I mean, it's not really difficult to run an event. You just got to be really organised. It's pretty straightforward. But to be honest, I guess, yes, there are skills. It's just mostly it's having enough time, and resource is always the problem.
A lot of people who do support chess boxing in some way or another use their existing skills to come in and do it voluntarily, because it's something that we all absolutely love to do. So take an example, Gavin's really good at organising things. So he organises the events. Richard Fraser is really good with graphics, and, you know, he does graphic design for sort of, you know, famous films and famous like Netflix series and things like that.
I think when Tim was organising the events and he realised that I had some skills in motion graphics, he was asking me to do some graphics for the events, and for me, it just, you know, it's something I can do that's fairly easy for me to do because I'm quite experienced in doing it, and it just adds good production value to the show.
I basically look after all the finances, so I'm a chartered accountant, so I produce all the accounts, and Gavin signs off all the financial accounts, but I basically produce them and just make sure everything's in order. Each of us brings our own individual skills to it and tries to sort of, you know, give a little bit of ourselves. And because we just all really just enjoy the sport, then, you know, it's no hardship to do that. I quite enjoy doing it.
It's a very tight community and very welcoming. I think that's the main reason I do it, is because of the people. Like I'm always pleasantly surprised by the people it attracts as well. You know, it just feels like it's a very comforting space to be in, and a very welcoming space for whoever you are. And I don't know, I've never really found a community as open and as willing to accept anyone as the chess boxing community. Yeah.